laptop, but I will still. So I will refer to my my presentation. Okay, I will talk about personal branding, and it's important for us to just define personal branding. What is it? When we ask people around, if you ask people around, who do you think I am? That is the answers that come from them reflect the personal brand. It is about value proposition. What is it that you represent? What is it that you are known for? What is it that people see you and talk about you? It's about the experiences that they have around you. So it's about how you handle yourself, who do you interact with, how do you interact with the others. And I will also talk about creating a good brand of yourself, because that's what we are looking for. That's what we are all looking out for. How do you create a good brand about yourself? There is also the side of a good brand. You can also, even when you are trying to create a brand, there can be a good brand, there can be a bad brand as well. But you have to make an effort to make sure that you have a good brand. So I will talk about how to handle yourself online. So it's about the impression that you give to those around you, to those who follow you online. So I'll talk mainly about 5 key elements of personal branding. I'll talk about personal life on the social media. I'll talk about feedback. I'll talk about the art of following. I'll talk about engagements, and I'll talk about inspiration. So those are the 5 key elements I'll talk about. So the first thing in social media, ladies, is for me, it's do not be over opinionated. You know, we see some just posting about the opinions, about their spiritual opinions, about your political opinions, about even about things, simple things like, should I take my child to a public school or private school? I think those things are not important at all as you try to create your personal brand. Do not give so much information about yourself. So your opinions, they are important, yes, but they should be left out, because there is an aftermath after you've said your opinions about certain things. If I'm to give an example, I go to Celebration Church, and someone writes and says, Celebration Church is about, you know, it's known for people who are well up, people who have money, and and things like that. Someone writes about, for example, some religious leaders. You talk about Mutendi, you talk about Magaya, you talk about the Zayoja leader. I think don't be too opinionated when you are on social media, because you are trying to build a personal brand. You're trying to build a good brand about yourself. And the next time is, the thing is, your brand is related to your professionalism. And nowadays you see that when you are called for an interview, people actually go, the employers actually go on your social media handles. They go on your LinkedIn, they go on your Facebook, they go on your Twitter pages, and there you're posting about my church. Maybe I'm a member of the Zion Christian Church, and then you are saying your opinions about my church, and I'm the one who is to interview you. So don't be over opinionated on social media. Just keep your personal life to yourself. I work for the government, and all senior management roles, they go through a vetting process. And these are also things that you need to worry about. When you are being vetted, what are they going to see on your social media? For example, a person like me, if I am to write on my page and say, let's exercise our constitutional rights, let's go and vote in our numbers, you see that this statement is loaded. It has a lot of political connotations. Whatever part I belong to, whatever part I'm going to vote for, it doesn't matter. But if someone is to really look at the at what I'm writing about, it has a lot of political statements in it. So as I try to create my personal brand, I leave politicians to look at to make political statements, and I focus on my role as a marketer. So even on your WhatsApp statuses, you know, there are certain things that we are not expected to, like, let's say a person like me, I'll give an example of myself, because I look at my audience, who watches, who views my statuses. I look at the Commissioner General, I look at the board of ZIMRA, I look at some government officials that I communicate with over WhatsApp, and some of them actually view my statuses in private. And imagine if I am to post maybe somewhere doing something, and then I just say me and my girls at the lake, maybe wearing bum shorts for argument's sake. I'm not saying bum shorts are bad. This is my personal life. But as I post it on my WhatsApp status, and the Commissioner General, the board, the government officials are to see it, they look at my professionalism attached to my personal life, and sometimes it doesn't really go on well with them. So what I post and allow people to see is something that that should be associated with my brand, that I want them to see professionally. Because if you see it, some of them are watching, they are viewing you in private, and you don't really see whether they are viewing your status or not. So be very mindful of your audience, so that the next job interview, you don't have to they don't have to associate what you've been posting around with your job, with your next job interview. You know, part of my job is to do missions. Like I said, I work with organizations such as International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, World Customs Organization, and the like. If I'm to post certain things that are too personal, and they see those things, and then the next day we are having a meeting, sometimes it doesn't really go well. So you keep your personal life to yourself. I want to just give an example of what actually happened to me. At work, we created a WhatsApp group that looked at industrial issues, and I was very active at some point, talking about salaries, talking about this and that. And someone phoned me and said, Inzwiraishe, do you know what you are doing, what you are posting, what you are airing, it's good to air your views, but you know what? Your posts, your responsibilities at the workplace, they don't go well with what you are, with the activities that you are doing on the group. So yeah, it disturbed me a little bit, but also to think about it, I say to myself, you know what? I have platforms to even speak to the Commissioner General. I can talk to her. If I need to talk to air my views, I can actually do that in other platforms. Do I have to use this platform to talk about what is happening within the workplace? No. So I had to protect my my personal brand. And also that takes us to another level, that is feedback. It's very important to listen to feedback. So our feedback, whether it's negative or positive, it has a bearing on our personal brand as we try and create good brands of ourselves. So I listened to that feedback, and it also helped me. So such feedback like that encourages us, like go girl, keep flying high, keep soaring. It encourages us, and so that we keep on doing more, which is very good. And there's also negative feedback, which looks like it's attacking you. But if you look at the nitty-gritties of it, it helps you shape your personal brand. In my case, I used to post a lot on my status about my personal life, my children, what we have eaten that day. We have eaten sada in matumbu. And my husband said to me, you know what, you are exposing us too much. And because I also, some of the people who view my statuses are his workmates. You know, when he arrived at work the following day, someone is asking me how was Sada in he was asking him how was Sada in Matumbo, which is too much information. So I listened to feedback and stopped posting too much information about our life. The other issue that I want to talk about is the art of following. Who do you follow on social media, and who is following you on social media? Could you, as we try to create a strong brand about ourselves, let us follow people who are consistent with what we want, with our beliefs, with where we want to go. As marketers, follow other marketers, follow groups of marketers so that you get more inspired rather than to follow, certain things and someone tags you, which is inconsistent with the brands that you want to create for yourself. The other thing I am going to talk about is engagements. It's critical that we keep engaged on our platforms as we create good and strong brands of ourselves. Do not underfeed your audience and do not overfeed them, like putting too much information. Sometimes you put about 4 or 5 posts in a day. I mean, that would be too much. So if you post once, twice on LinkedIn, you also post on other platforms and the like. There's also digital conversion. Yes, that's what I spoke about, posting on LinkedIn. You have your Facebook, you have your Twitter account as well. So keep them with information, keep them consistent, and also make sure that when you are posting, when you post on LinkedIn, which is more serious business, be consistent with your Facebook as well. But I'm not saying you should post the same information. Do not share the same information you put on your LinkedIn, you put on Facebook, the same information. It kind of bores your audience, but you can put some nuggets on this platform, put other nuggets on the other platform so that it doesn't become boring. So be consistent, keep on posting so that your page is active every time. My last point, ladies, is do not plagiarize. Do not plagiarize when we are using social media to build our brands. It's good to get inspired, but do not plagiarize. If you quote somebody, it's important to acknowledge the source. You quote and you acknowledge the source. This is coming from this person. So get involved. Do not plagiarize. So I spoke about the 5 key elements. I'll repeat them again. The first of all is personal life. Do not post too much information about your personal life. The second thing is feedback. It's important to listen to what your audience are saying about you. It helps you change, it helps you navigate and create a better brand about yourself. The other thing is the art of following. Who do you follow? Who follows you? It's important as well as we try and create strong brands about ourselves. Engagements, let's keep our posts, our media platforms as engaged as possible and do not plagiarize. So that's my presentation. I hope you got 1 or 2 things from my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Inzwiraishe. Ladies, if you have any questions, please feel free to just type in on our chat. I'm sure everyone can see our chat widget. So you can just put your comment in there, and then we can have a Q&A after the whole three presentations. Now we would like to welcome Ms. Kim VG Sibanda. She will introduce herself as well as give us a presentation on personal branding in the media. Welcome, Ms. Kim Sibanda.
Hello, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I'm trying to share my presentation if it's possible.
Okay, I'm sure you can share now. I've made you a co-host.
Can everyone see it? Yeah. I'm not too sure if you can see what I have on my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. You can go ahead.
All right, hello everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of the conversation. And I think it's an important conversation of building your personal brand as a woman marketer. For myself, I am actually a media personality. I do radio and TV. I am with the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation under Power FM at the moment and ZBC TV. I'm a dynamic communications professional. I've got 13 years in the media space. I am a host, radio host, TV presenter, MC, as well as a moderator. And I dabble in a bit of business as well. So my name that I go by is Kim Sibanda. So we're talking about personal branding. Now, I think my fellow ladies have already spoken and defined it, which is the personal branding is the practice of marketing yourself and your career to create a strong and memorable impression. It also involves strategically crafting ways to promote yourself and be distinctive out in the market to show who you are. So at the end of the day, personal branding is simply who are you? That's the question that we are all asking. Whenever anyone looks at you, I think Noma went through that. They have to ask, who are you? But I also want to say that you are not for everyone. So you need to define yourself before you are defined. So the things that personal branding is being radically authentic with where you come from. So I put a screen of where I come from. I come from a farming community. I come from a business community. That's the first picture. And then I joined radio shortly after I finished high school. And I tried it. My mom was such a big support system. When she passed away, I went back to farming again because that's my backbone. And I started off in the Midlands. That's where my personal brand is actually known. So if you ask for Kim Sibanda, it's definitely something you would know. I am new to the Harare community and the nation at large. I am now with Power FM. So I've moved from a regional station to a national station. I believe it's because of growing my personal brand for my career. So your personal branding as a person is working on the name and your purpose. It's also inspiring others to follow your story. This is how we look at it from a media perspective, contributing to something that's more valuable than yourself, whether you are maybe somebody who loves teenage girls, teenage boys, you're somebody who loves old people, you want to be involved in care work, whatever it is that you want to do, and also getting intentional about your online presence, which we've spoken about. What branding, personal branding is pretending to be who you are not. So whether you're at work, at home, whether you are in your own alone time, it's who you are when no one is watching. And also personal branding is not neglecting to discover your purpose. You need to have your alone time so you can discover yourself. And also gaining followers. If you're somebody on the online platforms, you want to gain followers because you want that influence for you to be able to speak in certain spaces and also be of value outside of yourself. Another thing that personal branding is not is self-promoting without giving back. Oprah Winfrey once said something that if you are in the media space and your position is not to serve, then you don't belong there. Your ability to serve, if you are in a public space, is what makes you a personal brand. And then also making sure that the content you put out there has got a strategy. So, what are the things that one needs to have? You need to have the skills and expertise in whatever field you are in as a marketer, whether you are in finance, whether you are marketing in agriculture or mining, you need to have the skills and expertise. So, branding in media focuses on showcasing your unique skills. So sometimes I will speak of my industry. As a journalist, you can emphasize on investigative journalism. That's why whenever there's a story that needs to be uncovered, on social media, we look to certain individuals to tell us what's really going on. Some have storytelling. So you want somebody to tell you a story about what happened in the past. There are certain journalists that you look to tell us that. Then you want to know the trends. There are also certain presenters and personalities that you also look to find out what's really going on in the world around us. So that's a way of branding yourself, even as a marketer. Where do you fit in all of this? As a marketer, you need to also know your reputation management. From a media perspective, I think this is something that's really important for anyone in marketing in terms of your personal branding. You need to know where you fit, and you need to manage the reputation not only for yourself but the organization that you are in. You know, as a social media influencer, you might create your online presence and maintain maybe that positive image, but sometimes it can go wrong. So what are the things that you need to have as a skill to make sure that you can navigate that space to bring the narrative back to where it belongs? And also your market positioning. Who are you when you're sitting in the boardroom? Who are you when you're sitting in your office? Who are you sitting when you're sitting at home or amongst friends? It's your positioning. You know, amongst friends, you can have that one person, can I know about maybe somebody wants to know about insurance, and your friends will immediately look to you because you've branded yourself as somebody who knows that market. So why personal branding matters in media? With the rise of social media online platforms, individuals need to find their uniqueness. And that's why we have these hashtags, even online, to hashtag mommy days, hashtag like what the previous speaker was saying, private school days. You might not need to give an opinion, but maybe what you talk about or where you exist maybe relates to that particular subject. So building your personal brand has got to be the most important thing for anybody who is in marketing, anybody who's in media, as well as PR. I feel like they are all a piece of the puzzle from one to the other. PR on one side, marketing in the middle, and media on the other side. So you need to identify your audience. Who do you want to appeal to as a marketer? Do you want to appeal to be a top level executive? So what are you going to do about it? Is it the way you dress? Is it the way you present yourself? Or is it the way you speak? What are the mannerisms that you have? What are the values that you carry as an individual that will set you apart and make people know that this individual is really something worth following, worth giving? So four of some of the I think pillars that I use is always to define the goal. After you define your goal in whatever career you are moving in, you might also need to embrace your unique story. Now, as women, we come in different forms, shapes, and sizes. And sometimes it's so hard for us to fit in again into a puzzle. So you need to also realize as a person, you have your personal preferences. You might like them lighter, darker, shorter, taller. That's something that you need to also realize. I am short. I am light. This is how I fit into the market. And this is how I'm going to brand myself, because the world will not start judging you. So you need to embrace yourself first. And then you identify your superpowers. Each and every single one of us has a superpower. So I'm going to use the examples of a personal branding in the media space. Oprah Winfrey is known for her superpower for authenticity, empowerment, and positivity. And then Viola Davis, who's my personal favorite, it's self-worth, confidence, and resilience. So your three pillars as a marketer, what are they? So even as you start campaigns, there's some marketing managers that we've come across where we know, I know one where I know she's no nonsense. If you're going to come up with her with a campaign and you want her to come and advertise on your platforms, she's going to tell you that I am a no-nonsense person. I want my brand clean. I want my brand to speak to A, B, C, D. And as a media personality, if you don't fit to that, you need to find somebody who does, so you can help the marketer with their end goal. So that's a media perspective. So I'm just going to go quickly through this because I think my previous speakers have already gone through most of it. So how do you build your personal brand as a woman marketer? Well, first of all, your strategies for personal branding for success are social media right now, because that's the space we're living in. And we keep going into that technological digital space. So you need to empower yourself and know how to move in your social media and the technologies around you so you don't get left behind. Now, there's a saying that says, do not park where your father used to park. And it's important that we look at somebody as our muse and somebody that we look up to. But at the same time, we need to find our unique selling point in that time. Collaborating with other professionals is always so important. And I find that sometimes you're in different industries, but the way you look at things and attack the market is going to be very different. I mean, when I was looking at, I'd never done a PowerPoint for a webinar before, and I had to look to my other colleagues to help me to put together my thoughts. I had them on Word, but I was like, oh my goodness, they need PowerPoint. And I got some people to really help me put it together. So collaboration is absolutely amazing. And even more so as women, you find that if you want to see anyone pulling anyone down, they call it the pull her down syndrome. It's always a woman. So continuously evolve as a woman. Other things are building trust and credibility. My mother always used to say, Wanangu, you are as important as your last word. And you are the value of your last word, your last event, your last function. So your building trust is really how you place yourself in the market. Personal branding helps you build that trust and credibility. So if you're a woman of your word, be a woman of your word. That way you build that credibility. Your networking and your relationships. Your network is your net worth. So definitely, this is something that we cannot ignore. Networking has become so purposeful, so productive. And in the media space, it's something that I can definitely say, you can't ignore networking. You have to. Whether you want to grow your financial space, where you get more money, because as media personalities, you need to know a marketer. You need to know someone in the PR space for them to put you in a space where you can make more money. So another thing, again, is your influence. So being on LinkedIn or being on Facebook or Twitter, or maybe you are on, what is the TikTok? A lot of people have come on board and have done so many amazing things because of their frame of thought and who they are. I think recently I was listening to a guy called Paul Charming. He's doing very well in the space of increased influence on his personal know-how. Professional development is also something that's really important. As a marketer, you need to know what's going on and how you're going to develop yourself. I think my other colleague has also just covered the developing yourself online presence, but definitely I just want to emphasize on networking and collaborating, and then seeking to speak at engagements such as these or at workshops. A lot of us, public speaking has become something that we're new to, and hence we have schools coming up with the public speaking and the workshops. So look for opportunities for yourself to speak, put yourself out there. I'm so used to speaking in the studio, so sometimes I'm very shy when it comes to being in front of people. But as soon as I'm out there, it's like breathing again. So I encourage every marketer to put themselves in an uncomfortable space and grow to be able to put across their brand as a personal brand and also the brands that they represent. Then just to close off, engage your audience. This is something that we do with radio and TV. We aim to educate, inform, and make sure that we have entertained you. So engage your audience and make sure that they're active, make sure that they're responding, and you get the feedback that you need so you can correct maybe the products that you're selling, maybe yourself even. Sometimes you don't dress well at work. When somebody has commented, you take it very personally, but it's also builds your personal brand. Sometimes you can take a step back and say, I wonder why they say that. Get another 2-3 opinions. And if it's correct, you might want to consider changing it for the sake of your personal brand. So how do you know what's the right direction to do? As a marketer, there are so many names out there that I can mention by name that can mentor you into a space that you would like to exist. Personally, I'm very excited to move into mining, agricultural spaces, infrastructure and development. I was a tomboy, so these spaces I can naturally move into without getting bored. So find ways and spaces and the person that you want to see yourself becoming. You know, whether it's in your personal space, professional space, or sometimes even on social media, there are lots of videos that a lot of these celebrities are doing to show how they do what they do. And you can actually just take notes and see how you can adapt to this. So this has been so, for me, it's been a learning curve. I have learned so much just by trying to get prepared for this. But what I can say is definitely stay updated and keep evolving. If you stop evolving, you will die. And it might not lead to the next promotion. So make sure you continuously invest in yourself, your professional development, your courses, and be intentional. And let's find each other in these spaces and do great things. So that's me. I'm Kim Sibanda for Power FM ZBC, and it's been a pleasure, ladies. I hope I've been able to impart or share or strike something in you that can maybe in the end help you throughout your marketing experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kim. That was very insightful. And yeah, that was very good. Please, ladies, if you would like to ask any questions, you can safely send your messages and then we can ask the ladies to answer the questions. I see Shamiso said, I agree with you, Rumbi, on the collaboration part. As women, we need to do this more, and this has to be done with authenticity for the collaboration to be worthwhile. Thank you very much, Shamiso, for your contribution. I see Shingairai Moyo. She said, wow, very educative, Rumbi, thank you. I would like collaboration. I like collaboration. It has worked well for me. So ladies, I think you have noted down most of the things that these beautiful ladies have shared with us. And I only have one question to our presenters. I would like to ask you, so what kind of advice can we give to those that don't like to be on social media? We know most people these days like to be reserved. They'll be like we need to keep my life private and all that. But you just shared with us that social media sometimes helps you to get a job, and sometimes it doesn't help you to get a job. You actually won't get a job with your social media. So focusing on the side that some people are like, I don't want to be on social media, and maybe they do not even have that Facebook page or that LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter. Some people do not have. So I want to know, what kind of advice can we give to such people so that they cannot be confined to not sharing their life? Yeah, I don't know if you can assist me with that question.
Okay, well, I could chip in. I would say that I think 10 years ago, if you didn't want to be on social media, you could have gotten away with it. But in the 21st century, it's so important for you to be intentional about being on social media. And remember, at the end of the day, you have the power to choose what you post or what part of your life you want to share with the world. If you're somebody who doesn't necessarily want to be on TikTok, you don't want to be on Facebook, you can be very intentional by maybe sticking only to LinkedIn. And even if you are on LinkedIn or if you are on Facebook or Instagram, you choose an aspect that you want us to see. We don't have to see everything. So you have the power to choose. Don't limit yourself, because I think in the 21st century, if you're not on social media, you technically do not exist, because customers, companies, organizations, etc., they make sure that they look for you online. So you have the power to choose. You also have the power to choose an aspect of that, or an aspect of your life that you can show us. So really consider it, and just show us, even if it's just 5% of what's in your mind, it's still okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I see a response from Shamiso. She also said, I can also respond on the question of social media. Personally, I did not have TikTok, and my boss pushed me to open a TikTok account. I have to agree that this was a good move. I use my TikTok account to post on my work initiatives. And Sharon said, Sharon T. Mapira, Absolutely. Times really have changed, and social blueprint is very important.
Maybe
Thank you very much.
I can
Thank
weigh
you.
in on that one.
Yes.
I think also being on social media is very important, especially with the current industry trends that we have. Social media platforms are really like a great way for you to see what's going on, not only in people's personal lives, but just the trends that are happening, the news, technological advancements. Influencers do so many things. And I know a lot of people, when they think social media, they think influencers, but it's also a great way to participate and become a thought leader in various conversation. I think X is a thought leader sort of situation. I know it gets very toxic at the same time, but if you stay true to who you are and your identity and what you contribute, people will see and people do follow because people are looking for different things when they're online, and also be relevant. Just creating a space that's safe for women marketers. I think such spaces like this, they increase the amount of people that come to your platforms for the right reasons. Because I know a lot of people probably fear social media because of the personal side, which becomes very toxic. In media, I think your personal side has to be incorporated, but for marketers, it's very professional and you can do it just as well. It's a way to kind of, if you have some kind of expertise, it's a good way to show off and say, look, I know what I'm doing and I'm doing it well. Like what the other participant said, where she said she's doing her work initiatives on TikTok. So it's a nice way to say, guys, watch what I'm doing, and it's doing really well. And others to weigh in and probably learn from you of what else they can do with their companies and maybe even their personal brands.
Okay, thank you so much with that contribution. We also have another question from Michelle. It says, sorry, I missed some of the information. What are some common mistakes people make when developing their personal brand? Ladies?
I think I'm going to weigh in on that one as well. I think a lot of the things that people make in terms of mistakes is being fake. I cannot emphasize the amount of times that people have gotten bad publicity because they have tried to portray an image that they do not exist in, or they perhaps have no experience in or expertise. Maybe for Miss Noma, you can repeat the question.
Okay, Ms. Noma, the question is saying, what are some common mistakes people make when developing their personal brand?
Okay, thank you so much to Kim's response. I think if I was to share from my own personal mistakes, I think sometimes being in a hurry and thinking or making an assumption that your personal brand is going to grow overnight. It's not going to grow overnight. And I think you have to really be patient with yourself, be patient with the work that you're doing. The most important thing is to be consistent, be very consistent. Allow yourself and give yourself enough room to be able to grow. And I think also just watching other people's brands and actually taking time to research. Some people as well, I think I'll agree with what Kim said. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be fake. There was a time, I think, in the process of also building my brand where you would kind of want to compare yourself to other people, because some people will obviously show the glam side of their life, and you also tend to think, okay, maybe I should also show the glam side. But I think it's a mistake to try and copy someone else's brand. Remain as an individual, and like I said at the beginning, be intentional about who you are. When you understand who you are and what your values are as a brand, you stick to those and you remain faithful to those. I think that makes life much easier for you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Noma. Do we still have any more contributions, additions, subtractions? If you'd like to say anything, you can just put in the chat, or I can unmute you so that you can give us what you think about this topic. If not, then I would like to thank you so much, ladies, for taking this time to come and discuss such a topic with us. I would like to share my screen. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is one of the initiatives that we're pushing this year for the women in marketing in partnership with Population Services Zimbabwe. We're calling out for a donation for pads, a donate a pad campaign, so that we can donate to different schools, like what we have been, as you can see on the flyer, we have different schools that we have donated to. And we want to make this an annual event that we keep on donating to different kinds of schools, and different girls get to know about this menstrual health. So we are kindly asking for your kind donations in money, in pads, still that would do very well. I would also like to share on our event that we are currently hosting. We would like to host. That is so recent. The event that is so recent. Sorry about that. Okay, what's this? Yes. Yes, I don't know if you can see my screen as of yet, but I'm sure you can see it now. So this is our Wellness and Fun Day that will be hosted on the 16th of March at the Old Ararian Sports Club. So we're saying, ladies, come with your daughters, come with your niece, and enjoy this day as we campaign for the Donate a Paid campaign. Would like to come through. We'll be having different kind of activities. We will be having Zumba, trampoline, we have tag of war, the usual events that we have. And this time we have different kinds of sponsors, and we have new things on this event. So I encourage you all to just register for this event and come through, so that we can make a change for another lady or a girl who is out there who doesn't know much about menstrual health. So once again, I would like to thank you all for making time to come through and just share your insights and discuss with us on personal branding. I'm Lubiana, the Corporate Communications Assistant at Marketers Association of Zimbabwe, and it's goodbye for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. We're looking forward to more of this. Thank you so much. Good day.
Thank you very much.